So two thoughts. First of all, just to make sure we're really clear, this is not tied to the administration. This may have started inspired by the president's call to service, but I don't work for the administration. I don't think you guys do. So we've done this on our own. Now we're really excited about the fact that the administration sees the utility of it and is using this now in serve.gov. But make no mistake, none of us are drawing a paycheck from the government, period. That's number one. Number two, this is not a pure free speech zone. This isn't. So there are policies in place around content, around things like hate speech and whatnot. They don't fly. There's been a policy committee focused on this since the beginning to create an environment, back to Deb's point, that's safe, secure. And I got news for you. I don't know what your politics are. I don't know if your politics are left, right, progressive, some other kind of aggressive. So this isn't partisan and this isn't ideological. I think everybody can serve. And so service might mean, just to look again, designing a set in Oakland, right? Service might mean working a food drive. Service might mean, for example, if I put in here, and let's just see what happens. Nothing, it may be that nothing happens, so this is always a little bit.
You're making Adam nervous.
We'll just see. Okay, so I put in autism, teach kids sports. So like if I was a mom, well, I'm not a mom. If I had an autistic child, and I were looking for other parents of kids who had autistic spectrum disorder, All for Good might help me find those kids, find those parents, and build community through communion. Now again, that might not fit into our traditional definition of volunteerism. That's not what this is about. This is about creating a platform that's free, that anyone can configure and use, that gets more people to serve. That's it.
Do we have time for another?
One more question. This is quick.
Tell us your name and where you're from.
My name's Carol Lashman. I'm on the board of a local education foundation for a local school district. And this looks great. We need lots of volunteers. How can I make sure that we're on the top of the list for the local community?
Okay.
You're talking to the right guy.
I thought I was going to get away without a ranking question. Okay. And how do we rank these things? When you run a search, why is it teach kids sports and encourage courage is third? So the answer is we're still getting going. One of the things that's really crazy about this is open source. So one of the things that's a big thing that search engines use is they don't tell you, Bing, Google, nobody tells you how they do it. That's because if they did, then you would game the system, and people do anyway. So we're definitely in uncharted territory with open source search engines. And so you can actually see, if you really care, the details of the algorithm. The details right now, version alpha, whatever, which I coded up in like an hour, roughly speaking, try to do the really basic things. Basic things are, it tries to find opportunities that are geographically near where you've set. So you see how it says Berkeley, California. It's going to try to find opportunities near Berkeley, California. Now there are virtual opportunities that aren't near anything, right? And at least for right now, for a variety of reasons, including quality and other kinds of issues, in the actual real data. You know, I don't deal with highfalutin stuff. I deal with actual like listings and looking. I'm like, well, it's not really going to work so well. And so right now, virtual opportunities are ranked lower than ones that are tied to geography. Except when, of course, you're searching without a geography, then it's all equal. Second thing, of course, is time. So we try to show listings that are closer to the future. Of course, keep in mind that there's opportunities that run forever, there's opportunities in the future, but obviously you don't want to show things that are in the past. That start in the past, end in the past, so we don't do that. And again, if you actually care to read the code, there's a bunch of goofy math. And frankly, those of you who are actual experts in this stuff will look and stick your finger down your throat at the code I wrote. It's awful. Because I don't really know what I'm doing. We're still learning what the requirements are, frankly. And then, of course, the classic one is keywords. So if it matches education, then we show it. And we try to do the best we can. Currently, we use an off-the-shelf search engine from Google that kind of does a pretty good job on keyword matching. So hopefully, if it's working, then education and educational or whatever kind of all match together.
And if that's in the title of the listing.
Yeah, I think it's actually the entire listing. It's not just the title. So in theory, but again, you might not see it because if you run a search, well, actually here, look, autism put teach kids sports first, even though it wasn't. And there's a bunch of, and again, with all search engines, even if you try to explain it, it ends up sounding like hocus pocus. So my general advice is build the highest quality listing and don't try to target it. And what I mean by that is highest quality is put yourself in these shoes. If I saw this listing and I was generally interested in something like this, would I be interested in clicking or not? And then would I follow through on that click? Meaning if the click says, teach kids sports, and then it takes you to something that has nothing to do with sports, am I going to actually follow through and volunteer? If not, then that's not a high quality listing. And even though we'll never know, right? So I encourage people, and what's sustainable on the web is to actually focus on that. And the sites on the web that have done a great job of integrating themselves with search engines actually focus on that. The sites like Yelp and so on and so forth, and Craigslist and so on, LinkedIn, when those sites focus on that, they end up with better rankings in the end, because over time, the ranking functions account for spam and abuse and other kinds of bad listings. Right now, they may or may not, but over time, even in the course of weeks, then we'll start doing that.
All right, guys, I think unfortunately we've got to get moving. Just a couple final thoughts. Again, What is All for Good? It's a free tool. You can find us on the web, bring us to your websites to allow more people to serve. Guys, thank you very much
Thanks,
for being here.
everyone.